I think there are a couple of different things about Chernobyl, the show, that were interesting recently in the news. Have you seen this bit where someone was complaining about not having actors of color in the show? Did you see that?
No,
Okay,
I
so
haven't.
there was some lady. I don't know if she's a journalist or a person on Twitter leveled that accusation I guess, at the casting choices, and mostly people were just laughing at it, but I think some took the bait and they really started debating her and like trying to explain the historical context and so forth. Care to share your opinion?
Mm, yeah, that's interesting. I have two lines of thought on that.
Mm,
One is the obvious thing with these wokeness and representation things is sometimes they don't make sense
mm,
because they're not historically accurate.
yeah.
Like there's a time and place for insisting upon diversity and in the casting of the racial diversity in your casting.
No.
But when you're portraying a specific time period, then I personally I don't see a problem with trying to be accurate in that sense.
Right.
And I'm guessing that Ukraine in the 80s, you can verify this, that Ukraine in the 80s was probably fairly white, especially in a town like that, like a rural industry town.
Very much
Is
so.
that fair to say?
That
Okay.
is an
But
accurate statement.
the other thing that makes me think about though is like these debates have been had so many times now. This exact debate with different TV shows or movies or media of whatever kind has played out many a time.
No.
And is it worth it? What is the purpose of that fight? Some people took the bait, right?
Yeah.
So you have one person leveling this accusation that draws people to it like a magnet and engaging about it, and now we're engaging about it. So in a way, she won the debate regardless because she got attention for herself and probably got views and clicks. And so regardless of where you fall on the topic, that post or article has served its purpose of driving traffic to their site. And so repeating this debate over and over again seems to function economically well for the people doing it and probably has no real outcome. Like wrestling with it over and over again, is that actually leading to any resolution?
Well, I think
Or are we all suckers?
one of the beautiful things about free speech is that it allows for ridicule of ridiculous statements, right? So I think that something that brought me a lot of joy was well, A is just a lot of people were just laughing at it, and two was the counter trolling. Like, for example, and this is something that I just thought up as well, is like, first of all, what about the miners? I don't know if you've seen the miners yet. Were there in the third episode?
Yeah, they're
Pretty,
wearing coal, they're covered in coal, and they're naked.
yeah, they're pretty black dudes most of the day until they wash up. Like, so,
Yeah, that's called blackface, Stanton. That's extremely offensive, and they should not have been dressed in coal dust.
yeah. So I mean, if you're not happy with that, what about the victims of radiation poisoning? They were actually going through a racial transition, one would argue, because they were changing their color throughout the course of the disease. So
Yeah.
going transracial, isn't that even more progressive than just casting an actor of a specific race? And
No, I think we established that going transracial is cultural appropriation. Rachel Dolezal was the test case on that. Going transgender is desirable, not only perfectly acceptable, but enviable. But
mm,
going transracial is extremely offensive.
all right, so I guess bad Michael Jackson then.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. I think you're allowed to go that direction. You're just not allowed to go the other way.
Ah, what a sham.